Watching his two younger children Andrew and Allison play in the yard, Jamie wondered if his other kids would be as insolent when they reached teenagehood. Andrew, the middle child, was 10 and stubborn just like his dad. Andrew came running into the house. "I didn't do it," charging through the living room and into the bedroom. Allison then walked through the door crying at the top of her lungs. Allison had just turned 7 and the youngest in the family. The little girl walked straight up to her daddy, looking for an instant cure that heals everything. Jamie looked at the bump on her head and gave the boo-boo a kiss, then consoled her until the wails quieted and the tears dried up. "Are you okay, honey? What happened?" Jamie asked as the little girl spoke between her whimpers. Ma, Andrew pushed me," she blurted out. "And why did he push you?" asked the sympathetic father. "I wanted to play with the ball and he took it from me." Jamie sat there and consoled his daughter stopped crying and the original issue of the ball had been forgotten. Little kids never have a long attention span, so within 5 minutes Allison noticed the family dog in the corner and ran off to play with it. Another job well done. Jamie smiled to himself as he took a long haul on his beer. Suddenly another wave of nausea hit Jamie, almost causing him to fall off his chair. Again the feeling of being sick passed as quickly as it came. Jamie got up and walked to the bathroom, washed his face in cold water and looked into the mirror. The wrinkles in his face seemed to disappear and his shoulders seemed a little broader. Again Jamie figured nothing was wrong and continued on with the evening. 11 p.m. came and went. Sheila had returned from her date and all the kids were in bed. When Marjorie and Jamie awoke it was 11 a.m., they had both overslept. Jamie groggy rubbed the sleep from his eyes, got up and walked into the bathroom. He showered, dried off, moved to the sink and looked in the mirror. Looking back at him was a man no older than 25. Jamie stood there mouth wide open in total shock. "Marjorie," he shouted as he ran back into the bedroom. Marjorie took one look at him and almost screamed, believing he was an intruder. However, she noticed Jamie's birthmark and recognized the man she originally fell in love with. "Jamie, is that you?" she asked apprehensively. "Of course it's me, what is going on?" the hysterical 25-year-old retorted. Jamie frantically searched his memory for any reason this could have happened, then it came to him. The DNAM accident on Friday. "I must have been exposed somehow." With the revelation, Jamie called his workmate Teddy and asking to meet him at the lab at noon. Marjorie and Jamie left Sheila in charge and drove straight to the lab. "Jamie, what is going to happen? How do you plan to reverse this process?" Marjorie asked her younger husband. "I don't know, this is all very new to me. There isn't a reversal process developed yet. The professor has been working on one but hasn't told us about its progress." "Well, that is just great. What are we going to do in the meantime?" Marjorie barked at Jamie. "I don't know, hopefully Teddy and I will come up with a solution." Jamie replied. "What the hell happened to you?" Teddy stood there almost stunned by the sight of his diminished lab mate. "Your guess is as good as mine. I've been getting younger since yesterday, I think. It must have been the DNAM, I must have been exposed to the device as it toppled to the floor." Jamie sat down and began to explain his theory. "No, not possible, you were only exposed for a brief second. The animal experiments had been given 5-minute doses, far more exposure than you." Teddy responded, but Jamie shook his head. "But we were overloading the DNAM, isn't it possible that the increased output of the device could have triggered my regression?" "It's possible, however there is no way to measure how much the output was at the time of the accident since the data was corrupted when the laptop hit the ground. There is no way to figure out how much exposure you received." Teddy sat back and contemplated the possibilities. "All we can do is wait and see what happens." With that, Jamie rolled his eyes and put his head in his hands. Arriving home from the lab, Jamie and Marjorie broke the news to the family.